Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of The Cosmic Tea. In this episode, I give you a really important part of my story. Trigger warning, okay? Abusive relationships, suicide, the C word, depression. I think that's it. Is that enough for you? Yeah. Okay. Penelope, she's like in the background. Okay. Cosmic Kundalini closes in a couple days. I invite you to check it out. I added an extended payment plan also to make it easier on your month-to-month budget. Check that out in the show notes. Ask me any questions, and I hope you find inspiration in this episode because that's the point. The point is to inspire you and remind you of how anything is possible. All right? Love you. Bye. Hi. Ooh. Oh, okay. I'm really excited to tell this story. This story is fucking epic. It really is. And it's real. Like, I should have friends come on the podcast and be like, no, for real, I saw this play out. This is how I manifested / met my current partner, my dream man, my soulmate, my person. This is a story about how I went from 7 years into an emotionally abusive relationship, no self-worth, really at a fucking rock bottom. This is how I went from walking on eggshells, hiding my spirituality, stopped teaching Kundalini. I did not believe in myself. I was living in a constant state of anxiety, depression, fear of the future. I hated my job. I was in debt. I was emotionally unsupported while navigating a lot of grief. I went from that within 6 months. This is real. Within 6 months, I left the relationship. I met my soulmate partner. I switched careers and spearheaded, which is now my business. I paid off my student loans in full. I financed my dream car. And it wasn't because I pushed or tried or made the vision board or did all the fucking belief work and whatever. But let me start from the beginning. Okay? It is summer 2018. At this time, I was 6 years into this volatile, abusive, controlling, shitty fucking relationship. My mental health was at an all-time low. I was about 30 pounds less than I am now, which is not good. It was from constant anxiety. For me, that is not healthy. Maybe it looks good on the outside, but on the inside, no. One good thing at the time was I was the owner and operator of an all-girls surf school, which sounds really fancy, but really it was me and my best friends, truly my 3 best friends at the time, managing and running a really low-key but really successful operation, giving young girls surf lessons at the beach all day. So shout out to Fiona, Steph, and Lori. Those were, damn. We'll always remember those summers, honestly. So it was just one of those work days, and we were setting up for the surf lessons. I paddle out there was actually this like bucket or like piece of trash I saw out. So I like paddled out to go get it, and I was like, I'll catch a few waves at the same time. And there is this handsome man surfing. We politely chat, and I can sense he's somewhat interested. And I'm thinking like, gosh, I'm attractive? Like, he has a job? He's interested in me? You know, a surfer has a job, and he's not a total bro, and he's interested in me? If only, I lived a different life, yeah. My self-esteem was so low that I couldn't even imagine someone looking at me and finding any positive quality. That's how bad it had gotten. He asked me out, and I politely declined because I had a boyfriend, and I'm a loyal as fuck bitch, for better or for worse. Yeah. So that loyalty now over time has shifted to myself, but I'm still like a loyal as fuck friend. If there's just that trust there. So anyway, this man's name was Kenny. At the time, he was living in California. I was working out there as an OT, living in Santa Cruz, surfing, doing his thing. But he had grown up here in New Jersey in Monmouth County. So that's why he was visiting and why he was surfing at the beach. But that was that. We didn't... there was no following on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't, because I don't find that appropriate anyway for my personal boundaries in a relationship, if there's that like attraction, sexual attraction or whatever, to maintain that connection. But also, even if there was nothing and I literally just made a new friend who was the opposite sex, I couldn't, because at the time my relationship was so intrusive and controlling. I had to have my location on at all times. He was stalking me, recording me most of the time. I didn't even know it at the time. He'd go through my journals, my therapy notes, my emails, my Facebook. Like, yeah, it was that bad. But anyway, so life goes on throughout the fall and the winter. My mind would kind of escape to that interaction. I mean, it really did something to me. It was like this fantasy world where I was free to enjoy my life and meet people who liked me, who thought I was beautiful or cool and kind. Because at home, I was being called an evil fat cunt on a regular basis. Honestly. I was being made fun of for my mantras. I had stopped teaching Kundalini at the time. I was no longer doing readings. I had an Etsy shop where I did readings. All my crystals were gone. Well, I put them away in a closet in a box. Nothing was, it's like I don't know how I somehow convinced myself over time that I guess who I am isn't meant to be for the world. I can just keep it closeted and quiet, and I can just be, I don't know. I mean, I could go into it with the quantum inner child stuff, but it's not right now. So, January 2019, my dog, Russell, my soulmate, my best friend, I had him since I was 17 years old. And at this time I'm 30, right? So January 2019, I'm 30 years old. My dog dies. It's an absolute devastation that I can't put into words. Looking back at the divine timing of this event, it saved my life. It was the beginning of the quantum leap. It brought me back to Kundalini. I laid with him in his little vet hospital room for 48 hours, only breaking to pee and eat. And I had my mantra playlist on Spotify that I named Home, because his soul was my home and the mantras are my home. Now also at this time, I had gone through my level 1 training 9 or 10 years prior. So Kundalini wasn't new to me, and I had had my profound experience, but because of the place I was in, I shut it down, I shut it away. It was really, really private and didn't feel safe. So I was listening to those mantras because nothing else made sense in the midst of this experience. And laying there as he transitioned, feeling his heart stop, and hearing the mantras and sensing their frequency carry him home. It's an experience I can now say was the most beautiful, profound moment of my life. I listened to those mantras driving home that day, remembering that their safety is what was I was like, this is what's going to pull me through. This is all I've got. With these mantras, I can survive. And a voice came through, whatever we want to call it, God, intuition, the higher self, spirit guides. At the end of the day, it's all the same. And it said, surrender to the nod. So nod is N-A-A-D, and that's what is the mantras are referred to nod. So it's the technology of sacred sound, that the sound is God, that God is a frequency. Surrender to the guru of sound, okay? So the voice said, surrender to the nod. Refine your mind, do nothing else. I didn't totally listen. I wasn't ready yet. I'm a stubborn bitch. But I did come back to the mantras. I knew that it was survival for me. I didn't know, there was no action I could take. Yeah. So naturally, as the months went on, couple months, my health declined. I mean, I was sick every couple of weeks with extreme nausea, vomiting, fever. I went to so many different doctors, blood work, no explanation. My relationship became more and more volatile and started getting physical, and damaging the house. So not good. Even talking about it, I'm like, holy shit. It's just so crazy. So then April 2019, so this is about 4 months, almost to the date of losing Russell. Lori, one of my good friends who was a core part of the surf camp, she took her own life. So that's a blur. I mean, it really was I don't know, yeah, it was intense. And I still I didn't have that emotional support at home. Home was so unsafe. And I really wanted to spend more time with my girlfriends. I really wanted to. I wanted to go out after her celebration of life gathering, but I couldn't because I would be accused of cheating or I had a literally paranoid, crazy person at home. And yeah, I spiraled even more. The next month in May, I lose my jobs. As a nanny, it's normal for these types of things to happen just from family to family. And both of these job losses were on good terms. Family dynamics change, kids grow up, parents' job changes, daycare hours change, whatever. But for me, it was a financial hit. I'm working hourly, cleaning houses, childcare. I don't have a degree. I have zero real world skill set. I mean, you and I know what the fuck else is real world besides raising children, but that wasn't going to get me a salary or a 401k or like ahead in any way. Especially as my mental health was so frail, I couldn't handle 50 hours a week anymore. So I was tired and I was afraid and I was tired of fucking nannying anyway. And I just saw no way out. June 2019, I'm on the bathroom floor, sick as fuck, puking, sweating, delirious, alone, and sobbing. I mean, what, it was just like, fuck. And I remember my partner at the time was out like surfing or something. I asked him to get me popsicles, and he went surfing and was gone for like 8 hours instead, right? I wanted to give up. I mean, I just, what rock bottom, truly. So I asked God, why am I here? Sobbing, screaming, crying, why am I here? On earth? Why am I on the floor? Why have you put me here? Why do I feel like I'm dying? Why did you abandon me? I felt like the universe abandoned me. I really did. And, prior to, this chunk of time, like, I trusted myself and I trusted the universe so fucking deeply. Even dropping out of college, at 21 and like no one understanding and being broke and my parents didn't support my decision. I was just like, no, I'm doing this. I'm trusting, Anyway, God answered. Again, refine your mind. Surrender. Stop. So to me, I know what refining my mind means. It's Kundalini. And I know this because I've done it. And I went through the intense training. And I went through many, many years of discipline that I'm proud of and absolutely changed my mind and my body and my life, right? But here I am again, being asked to refine your mind. No action necessary. And this drops me down to like, do I trust my beliefs? Can I trust that I really believe everything is vibration? And if I change my vibration from the deepest depths of my consciousness, that my life can change. Do I believe that enough? And I do. And so I did it. Kundalini is a proven technology. It is my saving grace. God is in the Kriya. Kriya is these sets of movements and breath and mantra that give us this profound energy shift. The mantras are my teacher. God is a vibration. I swear to God, like after that experience on the floor, I was, enlightened for 2 weeks. Like, all I did was Kundalini, and I just let life happen. It's like the world just kind of moved around me. I didn't need to respond. I had no anxiety, no urgency. I'm moving, I'm living, I'm like eating and drinking and, like doing the things I'm supposed to do. But I didn't have to plan it. Like it just happened. And I saw my relationship for what it was. And this seed of worthiness that was once there began to bloom because I was watering it with the Kundalini. And I saw, in this relationship dynamic, none of this is my fault. And if you've been in an abusive, toxic relationship, you start like with serious gaslighting, not like TikTok pretend gaslighting, but like real deal psychological manipulation. You start to think everything's your fault. I thought I was the worst person in the world. And I started to realize I'm not. And with that belief shift alone of your worthiness, that'll change your life. So, a couple weeks into that, summer solstice 2019, I do a Kundalini Kriya for the heart center and the electromagnetic field. And I hadn't done that Kriya in so long. And something opens. I cannot explain it. I see my electromagnetic field like flash this lime green energy and like crack open. I bike to the beach, meet my friend Steph. Hi. Standing in the water. And, you know, this was right, there was a fight at home. So I did this Kriya. I walk downstairs. I tell him, I'm going to go meet Steph at the beach. He like starts accusing me of like meeting a guy at the beach. I mean, like crazy. And I just like sit there and say, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. And he throws a plant across the room. He broke my printer, and he called me a cunt for the last fucking time. So I bike to the beach, and I'm standing in the ocean, looking out at the horizon, and I'm done. That's it. I'm done. My relationship's over. It's no more. I'm done. I'm ready. And I tell Steph I'm done. I'm ready to heal. I'm ready. I deserve so much freedom and so much love, and I deserve joy. And I cry tears of joy and relief. My toes are in the sand, and I felt like rooted into infinity. Nothing could change this for me. I kid you not, I wish Steph were here on the podcast to like affirm, but whatever. I kid you not, we turn around walking out of the ocean and there he is, my ex, walking down the motherfucking beach, doing the whole thing that they do. I'm really sorry, blah, 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 blah. Like, and I'm just like, okay. We get home. I'm like, I think you should apologize for calling me a cunt. He goes, why? You don't deserve an apology. I was like, okay, well, I just want to let you know we're done. This is it. Of course he didn't believe me. Yeah, so my dad was visiting that summer, thank God. Again, divine timing. I let my dad know we are done. He's crazy, he's abusive, you've seen the fights. And he steps into dad mode. And he says, you block him on all your accounts, cell phone, whatever. Give me his cell phone number. I'll get him to move his shit out. He deals with me and only me. Yes. Thank you, masculine, right? Fuck. I mean, me and my dad have our issues, but like, I will always be so fucking grateful for that. And, people like that don't go easily, right? But I eventually had to get the police. I had to report he was stalking me. I had to report it to the police, change the locks on the doors. He called a bunch of my friends, trying to turn them against me, and my friends were like, all right, whatever. He turned a whole group of community against me that I had grown up with, but I was ready to let it go because nothing else fucking mattered. I mattered the most. And again, Kundalini reminded me of that. It meets you where you are and it shows you yourself and your potential and your capability. That summer, I decided to not do the surf school. Fiona, who was Lori's BFF, she went to spend the summer in Hawaii, and she was a huge pillar of the operation. So with Lori gone and Fiona in Hawaii, the foundations felt broken. And the truth is, our hearts were broken, Steph and I were grieving, and I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't, the vortex of girls wave riding needed to heal and evolve in a different way. So here I am. I'm 31, I'm single. I'm jobless, besides some babysitting gigs and surf lessons here and there. Minimal savings to live off of. I don't have family who can give me money. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so special. I'm just saying like, you know, I wish, you know, that would have been amazing, but they're just not in a position to. So it was just kind of like, well, oh well, whatever. But I didn't care. I was fucking free, and I trusted the universe and that feeling that my Kundalini practice was giving me. I doubled down on that Kundalini. I did hours a day. I'm not saying you have to do hours a day, but like bliss, tears, releasing, healing. I was so free. I was so free. Like my world's an entire mess, but fuck it. Waheguru. Let's go. And I knew the universe knew what I wanted in my life, and I had no doubts that it would just happen. Literally, no doubts that it would just happen. This is the state of allowing that we all talk about. And this includes a partner. I still wanted like a soulmate partner. Like I'm a romantic. I love that shit. But I was so rooted in myself. It's like I'd went from one end of the spectrum to the other. Like I'd been building and building. And I spoke to my therapist about this. And she's like, it's like you've been on like a stationary bike doing all of the work. And then someone just put like wheels on it and put you on the road. And now you're off. So I knew that the universe knew exactly what the fuck I wanted. And I said, I either want my perfect partner or nothing. And I don't give a fuck. And I declared it. I declared I'd never abandon myself again, no matter what. Nothing outside of me has the right to take away the belief I have in myself, the belief I have in my life, the belief that I have that the seed of God is within me. Nothing. No man, no friend, no job, no amount of debt, no troll online, no guru, no spiritual fucking rules can separate my knowing from me. It's no accident that this came to this. It's Kundalini. You know, friends would say, like, a friend of mine, she'd like, oh, come out. And I was going out that summer. I was having so much fun dancing, whatever, but a lot of times I didn't. For me, like, going out once a week is like a big fucking deal. But anyway, she was like, what if your dream man's out tonight? You're gonna miss him. Huh. My dream man will appear when I'm doing what the fuck I want. Period. Done. And like, that's the truth of everything. Your dream career. Okay? The dream amount of money. The dream creative idea. It's not about the trying. Every single fucking day, the Kundalini practice reminded me of this truth. Therefore, I embodied it. And because I was in a place of little to no resistance, the universe delivered fast. My dream man requirements, I could talk to him about all of my channeling, monogamy, but absolute freedom and trust. No questions asked. Trust me, and I trust you 100%, or fuck right off. No games, no mind games, no lying, no bullshit. Total trust and respect for privacy. My partner now, we can leave our journals with our most private thoughts out in the living room, and he knows I'm not going to touch his, and he's not going to touch mine. I wanted someone who supported and accepted my career as an artist, a creator, this floaty person. You know? It was what I want or nothing, and I didn't give a fuck, and I knew the universe was going to give it to me. So, July 2019, I get this like intuitive hit to take a little action. And I say, oh, remember that guy from last summer? I wonder if he has a Facebook. Find him on Facebook. I reach out and I say, hi, I don't know if you remember me. I met you at the beach. I run the surf school. Are you visiting at all this summer? I would love to catch up and surf with you. He answers back and he says, hey, I remember you. Yeah, actually, not only am I visiting, but I'll be driving back cross country in a few weeks to move back home. And the rest is history. We talked and talked and talked and talked. And eventually he was like, hey, you want to fly out here, meet me in Oregon? And like do some camping, drive cross country? And I was like, yeah. So that was our first date at a bookstore in Portland. And I looked over and I saw him reading, like looking at a book, and it was like a spiritual book or like something. And that does not make a man trust me. A man's bookshelf. I didn't need a spiritual man per se. I wanted a grounded, honest, real fucking person who was all, whatever. Anyway, I was like, all right, I love him. It's done. Yeah. Fast forward to 2023. We're gonna get married. We're planning on buying a house. If we have we might have babies someday. Our dogs right now are our children. Our relationship is so emotionally healthy and trustworthy. It's beyond. I'm safe. I am free. I am abundant. I love my work. I love my job. I love my days. And this isn't because I forced anything. It's because I let it happen. And I have Kundalini to thank for that. So, real quick, also, another little additional story to see how insane this all is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. So during our time together on the road trip, I shared with him about losing Lori and described her to him. You know, she was an artist, and one of her many marks in the community was murals around town. So something clicked in his head, and he told a story about how years ago, prior to ever meeting me in the previous summer, at the same beach, he met a really beautiful brunette surfer girl, and they exchanged numbers and talked a little bit. Her name was Lori, and she painted the mural at the Belmar train station. She was a bartender at Bond Street. Nothing ever happened, but something about her made him want a real partner. And he made a list. And that list is me. He met my Lori, you know, that's just mind-blowing to me. It all came full circle. And again, it's not because I swiped right, you know, it's not because I forced or whatever we do. It's because I said, okay, I surrender. And I utilized the formula to give me that surrender, to train my nervous system, to encode my aura with the language of my soul. Kundalini transforms lives over and over and over again. I'm living proof, and I'm not special. At age 21, I followed my fucking gut. I followed the ET frequencies. I've casually mentioned before, I saw a UFO about like a year and a half before dropping out of college and doing Kundalini, and I very much believe that energy guided it to me. If no one ever did Kundalini ever again and someone was like, it's a scam, I wouldn't care because I trust myself enough. I trust myself so much. I trust it. I know it. And I'd still do it because I know it's real. And my life purpose is to share it. My life purpose is to share this practice for starseeds, for sensitive women, for the Aquarian age. And that's it. That's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I believe in you. I believe in you. And sometimes we need someone else to believe in us so that we can see it. Sometimes we need a practice that shows us our truth so we can start to live it. And so that physical reality can change. It really does start with it from within. It's like physical reality is a computer, and our vibrational set point pings out a formula with our thoughts, conditioning, trauma, all of the stuff, and then the soul frequency, and it makes this one vibration pushed in the computer, and then physical reality gives it back to us. If we change the initial formula, put a new formula in the computer, physical reality has no choice but to change. And you don't have to stress yourself out with the fucking mindset work. The constant, I'm an advocate for therapy, don't get me wrong, but the constant talk therapy. My therapist does Kundalini yoga, but like, you can open up your world with this work. And this isn't to sell you on something. This is me literally just sharing my story and sharing my passion, and I'll never shut up about it. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I love you. Waheguru. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Bye.